over the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to list off my 5 favourite entrepreneurs. You might be wondering who I am. I'm Adam Murray. I own Biddle Street Food. A little over 2.5 years ago, I had this mad idea to set up a Mexican food trailer. I put myself 30 grand in debt. I had no culinary experience, and since then we've built a brand to over 6 figures every single year, and we surpass nearly 1 million views on social media every single month. This list is not in chronological order who my favorite is. I like all these people for a lot of different reasons. I'm going to do a bit of screen sharing. I have my iPad here ready to rock. I'm going to pull it up on screen now, and yeah, let's dive straight into who my favorite entrepreneur is. So basically, straight away, let me just do a screen share here with you so you can all see. This is a curveball. None of you are going to know who this is, and you might tell me, Adam, this is cheating, but nonetheless. My first one I'm putting on the list here is David Goggins, and you might be thinking he is not necessarily an entrepreneur, and of course he isn't, but he is someone who has helped me build the mindset I have today. You know, at the age of 15 I lost 80 pounds, over 5 stone. I was literally 16 and a half stone. My nana had just passed, and we were eating takeaways for kind of a week straight because obviously no one was cooking. It took a little while for my nana to pass, and previously I never cared about my weight. I was always exercising, and I just love eating, and obviously now I own a food business. It's funny how that happens, but I just wanted to change, and basically watching David Goggins and other people helped me along the years build that mindset and just that dogged determination that you can do whatever you set your mind out to. And like since then, you know, I haven't eaten a sweet in over 11 years. They never put back on the weight, but even how it carries over the business, like the fact I know that no one is going to do what I'm willing to do, like, you know, doing the mental time weekly, I'll have at least one night of 3 hours of sleep, and I know there's no one else out there in the business space doing what I'm doing who's going to do that. I know there's not going to be people putting that effort, and he helps me and helped me change the perspective of, you know, when it gets hard is when other people quit, and it's when I only start. And also to note, David Goggins is a multi-millionaire, and it's from having this iron-proof mindset that he built that people endear, that allows him to give talks all around the world, allow him to write 2 best-selling books, allow him to release merch. You can make money doing quite literally anything, and yeah, he is one of my biggest inspirations out there. And then probably moving on to number 2, one that I'd say a lot of you are going to know off the bat, and it's quite obvious who this one is. I need my little rubber here. I was about to write Alex Goggins, but obviously it is not. It is Alex Hormozi. Also, if you can't tell, I typed my junior cert and my leaving cert. My handwriting is absolutely terrible. But Alex Hormozi has to be in the top 5. I'm giving a talk this Saturday. I've given probably 30 plus talks last year, and one of the leading principles I lead with is actually from his wife, and it's fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. So if you're going out to the beach and you're looking and you want to get in, you're out with Sean and Seaview saunas, and the water looks scary, the waves look freezing, you don't want to do it. Then when you get in and get your ankle in, you realise it's not that bad. And that's what business is, that's what life is. Everything looks far scarier from the outside. And yeah, that's, you don't know what you don't know. And also the premise that volume negates luck. Same with this. I'm doing volume, I'm putting out reps, I'm putting out videos, I'm putting out, you know, reaching out, I'm networking, I'm doing everything I physically can every hour of the day to make sure that this business succeeds, because I want to negate the luck. Well, you know, other business owners out there who don't do this aren't going to have the opportunities that I'm going to have. We've catered for 3 of the top 5 or 6 richest people in Ireland after 2.5 years of business. Things that, you know, people in the culinary space would die to do, or die to have the opportunity to have, and we've had it because I'm willing to put myself out there. I'm willing to do these things. We've been featured in the Irish Independent 5 times in 2.5 years, and it's because I'm putting in the volume. I want to get everywhere, I want to get in front of everyone, and it's for good reason. I need some water. These are also going to be very raw videos, just me straight talking on the camera, what's happening in my mind. A little bit different to the shorts that I'm going to that I've posted. And that's another thing, you know, I've posted this whole volume negates luck at least one reel basically every single day for 2.5 years. Some days a lot more than one, and we're in the process of wanting to scale to 5 reels a day, and no one else is going to do that. Not one other person out there in the food space in Ireland is going to do it. I can guarantee it. And even in business as a whole, no one else really going to do it. All I have to beat is the people out there ahead of me, and I am going to beat them, and we're going to do the volume, and that is where that Alex Hormozy premise comes in. And Alex Hormozy is also great for so many things, for how you can acquire customers for cheaper, how to increase your prices, and all these kind of things. Now, I don't want to give away all my tactics and how we do stuff, but when we do our €2 taco nights that we do kind of every 2 months, like, we lose money doing that. It's a loss later, but in the long term, it's all about the lifetime value of a customer and getting them back down. Also, I don't like that word customer. They're guests, part of a community that we're trying to build. But it's not about only, you don't have a business if you only get people that come to you once. You want them to come time and time and time again. And Alex Ronalds taught me a lot about that. And then the next person on my list, which a lot of you probably wouldn't have heard if you're Irish anyway, because he is very American, is Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey is unbelievable, strong, real Christian values, true business, but he's also sat on both sides of the spectrum, which is something I really appreciate, because it's an issue I have with wanting to move fast all the time and do everything urgently, like the world's going to end tomorrow. And Dave Ramsey has pulled me back to reality, in a sense that this is a decade game and not a day game, a month game, or a year game. So Dave Ramsey, really famous guy from Nashville. He was in real estate, and basically he went bust. Bankrupt. The banks called in his the mortgage payments or whatever early, which I had the right to do, something along the lines of that, and he didn't have the cash flow there to pay it, and he went bankrupt, and all he was left with was his house, because there wasn't much value in it. And he vowed never to go in debt again. And there's a saying in the Bible that he quotes, and it's, the borrower is slave to the lender. And that's something I really like, because setting up this business, I put myself 30 grand in debt, having to get out 2 loans to do it. And I wonder, if I had the 30 grand there, it took me a little bit longer, how much quicker I could have built the company if I didn't have debt over my head. And it allows you to take bigger swings. I want to take the biggest swings possible, but on my own money. So if I lose it, I'm still in the game. But if I lose someone else's money and I don't have the money to repay it, the game is over. And that's a premise that you just sticks so strongly with me. Like, I could have 10 food trailers in a month if I took out a loan and got them all going. Firstly, you don't have the foundations to know how to do it, because you haven't even operated 3 trailers, you know what I mean? You want to grow at the speed of cash, so you can build the foundations really wide. So if it gets to a point where you have a lot of cash flow and you want to add 5 extra trailers, you know how to facilitate doing that. But and also, like, if them trailers didn't work out and it was on someone else's dime and you can't pay them back, that's you gone. You're out the game. This is a decade game that we're trying to play here, and Dave Ramsey is just pivotal for that. And just in terms of like personal finance, and we're about to put your money, put your assets. Like, one thing I'm going to tell you in this video, guaranteed, I'm going to be a millionaire, but I'm 65 if my business fails, and that's because of Dave Ramsey's teaching and how to structure your salary and your wages, and putting things into there's an American word for it, but like basically your pensions, and how to structure your pensions to guarantee at the age of 65, if you pay a couple €100 or dollars every single month, you'll be guaranteed to be over a millionaire at the age of 65. So he is just massive for me, someone I would really encourage everyone to watch, because we are playing this decade game. Number 4, a very recent addition. I knew of him, but I didn't dive into him as much, even though I've been following a similar model. And I want to compare myself down the line to some of the biggest entrepreneurs out there. The likes of, Steve Jobs, Michael Dell, this guy, Todd Graves, who is next on our list. And Todd Graves is the owner of Raising Cane's. And he structured a company basically a pretty similar way to the way I want to do it. So he's the owner of Raising Cane's. He owns 90% of the company, which is what I want to do. I want to not really sell any shares in Biddles, to be honest. Number 1, greedy maybe. I would want to own everything, but also setting up a food trailer is very cheaper in comparison. Kitting out a restaurant that costs you maybe 300 grand. So if I can cash flow it following that Dave Ramsey method, it is something I would prefer to do. And yeah, that's what Todd Graves done. But he's also obsessed over what he does, and he wants to do one thing really, really, really well. That's me. That's exactly what I want to do. Before, when we set up Biddles, we were, a Tex-Mex food trailer, which was good. We served great food. I'll stand over it all the time. The food was quality. But there wasn't one thing that was just the best out there. So we done like chicken tacos, duck tacos, barbecue pulled pork, all nice, all solid, 8.5 out of 10s. Then we started doing the berry tacos, and they're a game changer, completely changed our business. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. But it was because there's such a more thorough process, longer cooking hours, more ingredients, more flavour, more things gone into it. And they were selling out every day. We only done them Sunday, build up the hype. They're selling out then every other day. They were selling it, 3 units of them in comparison to 1 unit of someone else. I was like, this is a winner. This is what we need to focus on. Just like Todd Graves does with Raising Cane. He only does chicken fingers. That's it. Chicken fingers. What are they worth? Over $10 billion or something. And that's what we've embodied. That's what we're doing with the birria. So you can get our birria beef. You can get it on a taco. You can get it on nachos, or you can get it on sourdough. It's birria true and true. I want to be the best out there. Now, by the way, by putting myself in a position, like there's a lot of Tex-Mex places out there. There's a lot of Tex-Mex trailers, but there's not one in Ireland that is dedicated to birria. So we can stand out and say this is what we do best, because it's all we do. It's all we do, and we've won awards for it. We just want to be the best in that. Let someone else go be the best making taquitos or other like chicken tacos or whatever someone else wants to make, patatas bravas. You can be the best in that. I'm going to be the best in birria tacos. We're going to change the game when it comes to that. There's different verticals we can do in the birria niche. That's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to focus on when it comes to opening up more food trucks. Now, don't get me wrong, when we do private catering, we'll branch out and do more what the client, the guest wants. But in our flagship locations, you come to us any given day, it's birria, because it's what we do best, and I know 99% of people out there will like it, will enjoy it, will tell a friend, and will come back. And yeah, that's what it's about. I want to be the best. I want to be obsessed about something, just the same way all these great entrepreneurs are. And then finally, to finish off the list, number 5, the one, the only, David Murray. Throw Ash Murray in there as well, because without my mother and my dad is nothing. So my dad, it's just the skill set he has. He's unbelievable, and the courage he has to take big punches. As I said, that's what I want to do. I want to take the biggest punches possible. My dad dropped out of school at the age of 16 to go become a hairdresser in Ireland, a female hairdresser. The straight man in the 1980s would have been, would not have been a common thing to go out and drop out of school. By the way, got rejected from a Sullus course to become a hairdresser. Absolutely mental. Everything was stacked against him. People thought he was mental for quitting school. Didn't care. Had a passion. Followed the passion. He has went around the world. Won awards. Has taught. Has performed in the Royal Albert Hall. Went to is it Rome or Milan Fashion Week or whatever. Does all these things. And his salon is booked out. People fly in from America, England, travel from all over Ireland to go get a haircut off him. And he didn't rest. He didn't rest on his laurels. At the age of 50, he decided to start posting on social media. I think it was before COVID. Since then, once again, he's like, no, I was going to say he's like me. I'm like him. He just has that dogged determination. He's built his Instagram following. He's more followers than me. He has 128 or 130,000 followers. He's a 55-year-old man nearly. That is mental. If what other 50-plus-year-old man out there says they're gonna start posting on social media, and then can build a brand like that. And as I was saying, my dad does marathons. My dad was when I was younger, would have been saying slightly overweight. Next thing, the switch just flicked and he just started running. Now he's doing all the marathons in the world. He's in the top percent for his age category in times for running marathons. He's trying to run a marathon in less than 3 hours, run 6 days a week, I think like 90 kilometers a week or whatever. He has that dogged determination that if someone tells him he can't do something, he's going to do it. And it's the exact same with my mom, She's basically the backbone to the behind the scenes of what goes on in my dad's business. And then it's the same from a different aspect, the fact that she was so resilient, and after my nana took sick, my mum gave up her job for a while to look after her mum, and then was able to go into something else and helping other people. And so many people who just rest and say, no, I'm tapping out, I quit. And it's actually something my mum has, and something that everyone else on this list has. No one quits. You can only lose if you quit. And yeah, that's just something I embody for all these people. I will never, ever, ever quit, no matter what it is. Even if, for heaven forbid, but it didn't work out, you will see me on another business. There is no doubt in my mind. This is what I love. And I was listening to David Senra on the Founders podcast, who's actually will quickly become on my favourite entrepreneurs list real soon. And he was just talking about the fact that all these people from a young age just hyper successful and knew what they wanted to do. And I always think that's me. When you see Rory McIlroy playing golf at 3, LeBron James, wanted to be a basketball player from the age of 12, Michael Dell with computer chips at the age of 12. All these people who knew what they wanted to do, that is me to a T. I've always wanted to be a business owner. Never ever, even today, know necessarily what business I want to be in, but I love business. Tomorrow I could be selling water wipes, Pokemon cards, it doesn't matter. I love the game of business. It's something I've always wanted to do, something I've always wanted to be involved in, and I am here. This is what I love. Every day I wake up, there's no Sunday blues, there's none of that. This is my passion. We will be in the game forever. I will not quit. It's impossible. The win will come. The wins come every day, and the big win will come. And yeah, a little bit of a rant at the end, but they are my 5/6, including my mum, favourite entrepreneurs out there. If you enjoyed this video, please send it to a friend in the comments down below. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like. Subscribe, give this a thumbs up, and yeah, thank you for listening to me.